Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashem Harakah saying double honors to our apostles and elders, Harry Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. I was having some conversations this morning and it led me to meditate on just how important it is and how valuable it is to have a small circle of friends, people you can call friends, people you can call family, people with good intentions, people who's sincere, right? And none of us perfect out here, but people who just got good intentions, good hearts, somebody you believe that you can trust. That's very important. I was having some conversations with some co-workers, and the topic basically got on the topic of politics, because you hear about things that's happening and what's going on. And just like if you looked at, let's say, like a politician, right? Why do they call politicians corrupt? Or why do people say they can't trust people like a used car salesman, right? Or a unworthy, mechanic, right, off the street, right? Or just like I said, them politicians. Why do they talk about people like that? It's because their whole shtick, you can say, is to hustle. Is to hustle a motherfucker. Is to lie to you. Is to steal you, like primarily like dealing with like the politicians, right? Their whole job is to sell you a dream, win your favor, and take your money, don't deliver the promises, and just run off in the sunset with everything they got from you. That's the kind of stuff that goes on. And then on top of it, I'm listening to, these guys speak. And in a sense, they're all some of them are saying that, hell, if they had the opportunity, they would do the same thing. Not in that particular situation, but in general. And, my mind is, I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you are already making an okay amount, wouldn't it just make more sense to just do the right thing and be okay with your portion? No, you gotta take millions, right? You gotta take it all, right, at the detriment of others. And it just reminded me, just show you, like, man, because this stuff is happening like in real life, in real time. And then we're talking about it the whole time. And everybody's like, shit, man, I probably did the same thing. I'm like, so you would risk, right? You would risk having an ill name. You would risk, right, this stuff making public where everybody could see it. You would even risk possibly jail time, right, at the detriment of others, just so you could run off with millions and stuff when you could just be okay with what you got. And it just shows you that, and it happens because it shows that all it takes for a lot of people, just if they just had an opportunity to screw over somebody, to screw you over, they'll do it. And that's why you got to make sure your circle is tight. You got to make sure it's small. There's nothing wrong with small. Have a small circle of people who you know are reliable, who got your best interests at heart, who you can call family, right? And that's why the scriptures talk about how your real family is those who believe in the truth, because the fear of the Lord is a must. You see how valuable the fear of the Lord is in everything when you just observe. If there's fear of the Lord, then you wouldn't steal or rob from your neighbor. You wouldn't covet after your neighbor, because you would fear the Lord, and those are people you can trust. That's what build a community right there, the fear of the Lord. Nevertheless, Book of Jeremiah chapter 9 says, "Oh, that my head were waters, and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men." And man, ain't that the truth? I think I say this every day within myself. Let an opportunity arise where I can go find a place in no man's land, and then I got to and fro transportation, just to come to camp, go back out. I ain't got to deal with no other people. I'm taking that deal, man. That's the truth. All right. It says, and they bend their tongues, but we know ultimately that's only going to be in the kingdom. It says, and they built, because he says what? They all be adulterers and assemblies of treacherous men. And they bend their tongues like they're both for lies. They are not valiant for the truth upon the earth, for they proceed from evil to evil. They know not me, said the Lord Yahweh. Take ye every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. And the word supplant is Jacob's name. It means Yahweh. Everybody's just looking to will get over on you, right? Goes on to say, and they will deceive every one his neighbor, and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and wearied themselves to commit iniquity. Yes, it's the Most High speaking. All right. He says you got to take heed of your neighbor and don't trust everybody, because telling you, Jake is just waiting for an opportunity to get one over on you. And that's the truth. That is the truth, man. You know, trust is something hard to come by nowadays. Right? Just people with good intentions, a good heart. Those are the people I want in my circle. And if you got friends or such like that, you know, even the scriptures go to that too. Talk about the steward. I don't know if it was unjust steward, but I believe it was just the steward. Yeah, the unjust steward. All right, we can just go to the point. Luke 16:8, and the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. But I say unto you, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when you fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. Because it's also wisdom to have friends of what mammon of unrighteousness, meaning mammon of this world, people of this world. Right? That's wisdom. And what it means is that if you have contacts or you have connections with people in this world whom you could possibly, you know, take you in if something was to happen, right? Don't burn those bridges. That's just wisdom. So it's good to, you know, keep in contact, right, with certain things. Be wise, be smart. And if you have friends, family, make sure you really are, you know, if you open yourself up or whatever it is, you better make sure you really are doing it amongst those worthy of it. Because you got to be mindful out here, man. These people, as we get worse, as the times get worse and worse, these people are going to get worse and worse. And you don't want to make the foolish decision to think that just because you fear the Lord, you got good heart, you got good intentions, that don't mean that the man next to you, I don't give a damn how long you probably think you know him, but if you ain't really proved him or went through it with him, don't think that you will trust him with this knowledge, that information or whatever, because they'll take that, they'll take it and run, they'll supplant you. Just like them goddamn politicians, just like a goddamn used car salesman. They don't give a damn. Their goal is to get that sale. They will sell you and not be honest. And you know what I'm saying? Like an insurance salesman, right? All they care about is getting them dollars out your pocket. They don't really care about what plan they send you up with, what's actually best for you. Their goal is production and sales and numbers. They don't care, man. Right? So you got to make sure as that they're properly vetted, as Sirach chapter 6 says, verse 6. Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counselor of 1,000. Right? So I like that. Make sure that you got really one counselor of 1,000, or a few who you really get your information from, or your go-to. That's wisdom. Okay, it says, if thou wouldest get us a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. And there are plenty of people like that, let me tell you. They get mad. Now it's, oh, okay, well, I got something for you. Nigga, you should have never told me this, never told me that. They're basically turned into women. And that's why the scriptures even talk about wisdom as far as dealing with women. That basically, all that pillow talk, you basically put that to an end. You keep that to a minimum. You got to be mindful. No matter, like I said, that's why it's called pillow talk. No matter how good you may feel, you relax, you think you know, secure, that you just gonna say everything that's on your mind, say everything in your heart. Hell no, you got to keep your guard up at all times. You got to be mindful of the things you say. It says, again, some friend is a companion at the table, but will not continue in the day of thy affliction. But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. And we've all can attest to it. I can attest to that. I've had a guy, one guy in particular I was cool with for a minute. My mom thought I was cool and all that, but all it took was for some hardships or anything like that for him to basically show that he really ain't my friend. So people always ask, hey, whatever happened with him, whatever. And I'll just say, well, we grew apart, but if somebody really wanted to ask, like my mom, for example, I'll say, look, I was his friend, but he wasn't mine. And sometimes they don't even know what that means. And I'm like, well, because you don't see everything. An individual like that cut off quick, and didn't take no problem at all. Could only weigh you down. Right? So you got to be mindful and take heed. Right? And it says, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. Nothing doeth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright, for as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. So having that friendship, having that circle, that's a beautiful thing. You want to make sure you keep it, tight. Keep those connections good if you can in these times, right? I got friends in the world, right? They get on my nerves and I get on their nerves. But they know if something was to happen, they could call me with certain things. And likewise, they know I can do them. Because at the end of the day, we've been around, we've been vetted. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like I always think of Craig and Smokey, and I'm actually jealous over that relationship. I will always be, because of the friendship that they had. You can't beat that. Not only could they hang out and do whatever, talk about whatever, but they could rebuke one another and still be cool. You can't beat that, because at the end of the day, just like when, he told Smokey, he's like, dude, you always playing. Ain't nobody playing. You walking around here playing all day. That dude ain't playing, you got me into this. And then Smokey owned up to it. You right, man, I shouldn't have got you involved with this. I'm gonna handle this. But then he's like, nah, let me go in here, man, because you still my dude. He grabbed a little strap, but what was his response? He's like, I gotta walk my friend down the street. So at the end of the day, you can't beat that, even though that whole thing was over what, $200. But I envy that, right? Wish I had something like that, but I know I'm just gonna have to really wait till the kingdom on that. I'm jealous of that, for real. And if you brothers, I've seen you brothers tight like that, you brothers are blessed, man. Do not take that for granted, because some of us would kill for it. Not literally kill for it, but seriously, I mean, that is a blessing. If you have a faithful friend, if you have a circle of people, keep it small, surround yourself with those who actually care for your interest, right? Who actually looking out for you. Because these people out here in the world, man, you might think your coworker cool, you might think your neighbor cool. If they got the opportunity, they also would supplant. They also would set you up. Whatever it is, they would do that, man. They would do that. And the only thing that's keeping back is just because the opportunity didn't arise, or maybe because they poor, or maybe because they don't have much. But you think they cool, but y'all say hi and talk every day, but that don't mean that they on that level to get that close in your parameters, man. Gotta be wise out here. You can't look at every single one as a like your equal or your friend. No. And if you have that, I'm telling you, you are blessed. The book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 10. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is as new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. So if you have friends in this world, or whatever the case is, just be mindful of your circle. Be mindful of who you let in. If like I said, these scriptures talk about make yourselves friends with men of this world. If you got good connections, right, keep it good, because I'm telling you, these people in this world are evil. They backstabbers. There's no love in this world. As it says, the love of many shall wax cold. The product, everything you see this world coming to an end, is a product of really no love and no fear of the Lord. And if you have a small circle of individuals, be mindful, right? And don't forsake an old friend. It's a blessing, right? With that, shalom.